It's that time of the patch again. The end. We are doing the tier list. Here we go, baby. Everyone's favorite video that causes no controversy. I've got some significant changes this time. All right. This is the final tier list of 1.x. To celebrate, we're also going to do a Bangboo tier list. There's going to be a Bangboo tier list this time. Welcome. Tier list time. Should we start at the top and work our way down? No. We should start at the bottom and work our way up, right? People care about the bottom of the tier list? Let me know in the comments if you care about the bottom of the tier list. Because if you do, I will try to be more selective about it. Okay, starting off, I think we have decided Ben is a DPS. He might be the worst one, but I think we have officially decided he is actually a DPS. He is not a support. He's actually a DPS. He's just kind of bad. I think this is the conclusion I have reached. I have thought about this a little bit. I'm sorry. Every one of these videos starts the exact same. One of these days. Oh, I forgot. Shit, you're right. I forgot I was going to do GPA scale. I was doing it in GPA scale. Thank you. Next, do burger toppings, top bun, bottom bun, cheese, patty, cheese, pickles, cheese. The bacon. So Ben has officially dropped this class. Every one of these videos starts the exact same. And I feel bad every time because Ben is a lot of people's favorite agent. People like Ben. He's fun. He's got a cool design. He's got a good personality. It's just not great. He's really just not very good. It kind of just is what it is at this point. I don't think anyone's expecting anything different. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate, but that's what we've got. One day. They'll make a look. We're getting new Barathyrans. There will be a strong Barathyran one day, okay? It will happen. I don't know when, but it will happen eventually. Similarly, at the bottom, we need to talk about the 3 Fizz DPSs. I don't know how strict our criteria is going to be here for the 3 Fizz DPSs, or the 3 attack agents. Billy and Corin could either be here, or they could be here. I'm not sure where. Fact is, more people play Corin and Billy than they play Neko. I don't know if whole tier above is fair. We also may actually need more tiers this time because there have been significant changes, specifically regarding a lot of anomaly agents. So we're going to make space for now. For now, we're going to make sure we have enough tiers. Then we can get into the minutia of rearranging them. So they may go up, they may go down. We'll see. Very similarly, people aren't quite playing him as much. He pops up sometimes. More people are playing Corin. Hopefully Corin and Billy get buffs. They might. We'll see. We'll see what happens in 2.0. Exciting stuff is ahead. So maybe Corin will be up here. Corin could be up here. I'm just telling you, Corin could be up here, which is a slight issue. We can just leave her up there. This is Anton. That was Anton. Anton is still only a Astra Nicole meme character where it's quick assist spam. That's the team. Anton has an 850% quick assist. There's really not a ton else going on with him. That's Anton. These 1.0 agents are not doing super great. It is a pretty funny meme team, but it isn't as effective as it used to be. There are also so many Astra teams. It's really hard to justify using Astra for effectively just a meme team, which is the bigger deal about it. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to try to do more Zenless content. More Genshin content is coming. Did you know most of you watching are not currently subscribed? You should subscribe. All right, this is Grace. This is the worst anomaly agent. Grace. Grace is the worst anomaly agent in the game. That is a title she holds and she alone. I kind of don't have much else to say about Grace. The saving grace for Grace is that you can play her in teams with characters like Vivian and technically Miyabi, and she works. You can definitely get her to clear. I actually want to talk about, okay, can we talk about in 1.0 when everyone was like, oh my god, you need to get Grace. You need to play Piper Grace Disorder. We're calling it Piper Bloom. That was me. I said that. That was me. I think we coined that name. And then she just kind of disappeared. Grace was never really that good, but hey, she did have a moment in the sun. I think everyone really wanted Grace to be good for some kind of predictable reasons. Some kind of predictable always say this. Grace has a massive fucking titties. Grace was the 1.0 sex appeal character. Everyone wanted Grace to be good. Everyone coped so hard on Grace. It just, it never panned out. It never really panned out. Unfortunately, Grace got shafted with real anomaly agents. I don't know about that, Martin. I wouldn't go that far. She just is the worst anomaly agent. She's playable with Vivian. The best Grace team is with Vivian. The best Grace team is a Vivian team. It's Vivian, Astra, Grace. That is the best Grace team. It's also just not fantastic. It's really just not fantastic. Speaking of not fantastic, this is Ellen. I'm sorry, Ellen. I can't do it. I can't. We need more tiers. If you didn't notice this time, we're being a lot more. We need more tiers. I'm sorry, Ellen. Ellen has a lot of 1.0 jank. She has generally low damage. Her skill values aren't particularly high besides her B3. Her best teams, they're either lighter Sokaku or trigger Sokaku or lighter Astra. Those are Ellen's best teams. We know there's a buff coming for Ellen. The question is just when. When is the buff for Ellen happening? I'm not sure. Speaking of, this is so, okay, actually. You know what? We're gonna transition. Speaking of buffed, this is Jane. Jane has moved up a tier. Jane, I'm so proud of you. Jane got buffed. Jane got buffed. She's so much better. Vivian is so good. Spoilers, Vivian is so good. Jane is officially buffed. No longer is Jane as much of a struggle bus. It's cool. Jane is back. Let's fucking go! Welcome back, Jane. You are officially one tier higher than Piper. She did it. She actually beat Piper. She beat all the odds. I'm so proud of our rat. Oh my god. This is Soldier 11. Soldier 11 is literally as good as Nekomata, except you can use lighter. Soldier 11 may literally be a fire reskin of Nekomata, but you can use lighter. So that's one tier higher if you have him. Excellent work, Agent 11, Agent Soldier 11. She did it. I think Soldier 11 has also dropped a tier. This is just... Honestly, I might have had her placed too high previously. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel about it, but Soldier 11 is fine here. We need more space because I'm making a tier below. I'm making that half tier we talked about before because I think there are enough characters for it. That's the reason things are getting pushed down. If you watched the last iteration of the tier list, you saw me talk about how there should probably be like a half tier. We're adding it, but we're not doing a half tier. We're just making space for it. This is Harumasa. Do I want Harumasa in 2.0 or 1.0? What is Harumasa's GPA? Where's Jian going? Jian's going in 2.0. So Harumasa's a 1.0. Is this a bad take? Maybe. He is top of the class in 1.0. Jian's going here, by the way. I know. Okay, look. Harumasa is better than Ellen. He is better than Soldier 11. He is better than Piper. I just don't know if I want him up here. I just don't know if he belongs up here. He's kind of just not fantastic. You know what? We're gonna end up making another tier. We actually are gonna end up making more tiers. He can't be that far off Jian. He can't be too far behind her. Double support's a lot better with Jian. So he could be. You could argue it. You could definitely argue it. We'll give him 2.0 for now. We're gonna make another tier. This is 3.0. This is where Anby belongs. I do think Anby is better than Jian and Jane. I don't think Anby is as good as Yanagi or Evelyn. Ooh. All right. Here we go, baby. Here we go, baby. I think Yanagi is generally just a better electric DPS than Anby. And I am comfortable having that represented on a tier list. Especially after Yanagi got Vivian. Spoiler, Vivian's also here. Here, above. There we go. So, let's talk about Vivian specifically. Vivian has buffed Yanagi, Jane, Piper, Grace, technically. The anomaly agents. Bernice. The anomaly agents all have benefited from Vivian's release. Vivian is great. She is essentially... people are going to be real upset. I have to say it. Vivian is basically Bernice, but good. I love Bernice. I do love Bernice. But Vivian is just kind of taken her slot and done everything much better. I'm upset about it. But I need to say it. I need to say it because I feel like it's true. Saddies. Yeah, anyway, as Vivian, Yanagi, Astra has quickly become one of my favorite teams. I think it's super underrated. Not enough people are talking about how good this team is. Genuinely, not enough people are talking about how good this team is. It is real good. Please play Yanagi, Vivian, Astra. If you have these characters and you've never tried it, you owe it to yourself to try it. Let's talk about Evelynn. I think Evelynn is still comparable to the Vivian Astra team, so I'm still comfortable putting her the full tier ahead of Anby, or half tier ahead of Anby. What I'm not as sure about is the newest agent, Hugo. This is something I am not nearly as sure about. My honest to goodness first impression is here. But there are some... Okay, Hugo has... How do I express this? Hugo has some really interesting upsides and downsides. His biggest upside, period, is he does not take Astra. It is an Astraless team. If that is enough of a benefit for you to say, for you to go, hey, you're not rating Hugo fairly, he should be one tier higher, you're correct in that assessment. If you feel that it is that much of a benefit, I think it is, but I still want to put him here for some other reasons. You need lighter, which is the same downside as Evelynn, same downside as Soldier 11, sort of, for Evelynn. It's complicated, but yeah. You need lighter. Thankfully, lighter is available with him. Second, Hugo is the hardest DPS to play in Hollow Zero, and he is unplayable in Tower of Adversity. Not Tower of... Chat, Battle Tower? He's unplayable in Battle Tower. Why? Because you don't stun enemies very quickly. You just don't. It's a real unpleasant experience. It's really unpleasant. When I say Hollow Zero, I specifically mean high difficulty Hollow Zero, which are runs that you kind of want characters to be able to do. So yes, Hugo is also an inconvenience in daily farming, because usually we're trying to kill enemies before stun time in daily farming. So Hugo is also a bit of an inconvenience there. Now, regarding Hugo is, if Astra is not available, Hugo is the second best DPS in the game. If Astra is taken, everyone else is down here and Hugo's here. If Astra is taken, this is what happens to the tier list. That's just true. That's a fact. If you were to ask me to draft 3 teams with no unit overlap, this is what I would tell you. Hugo, Trigger, Lighter, Vivian, Yanagi, Astra, Miyabi, Sokaku, Lycon. If you were to ask me to draft 3 teams with no overlap, that is what I would draft. Those are, I think, the 3 best teams you can make without overlapping characters. I honestly just have had too many unpleasant experiences in essentially daily gameplay with Hugo for me to comfortably put him higher, which is, I just think it's a big downside, really. Really, I just think it's a big downside. I think it's too big of a downside. But yes, Hugo is an Astraless team, and that is his single largest upside, period. That is the thing about Hugo. He doesn't take Astra. He is an Astraless DPS. That is his upside. That is his selling point. That is what he is. Also, I think it's super impressive that they made a character whose best team is all men. In Zenless Zone Zero, that's crazy impressive. They also, okay, spoilers for Hugo's trust event. There is a trust event for Hugo where every single man in the game besides Anton up and our bros. Up and our bros. What the Oh my god. Even Seth is there too. You guys haven't heard about this? Is real. This is real. There's a trust event where they're all together. I believe in equal opportunity gooning. Hugo is awesome. His trailer has male butt shot. Despite what a lot of people may tell you, Hugo is not broken. Hugo is not bad. Hugo is pretty good. He's got a lot of upsides. He's got a lot of pretty strong downsides, but Hugo is very good. Hugo is not a bad character. And this is the part where we put Miyabi with other agents and everyone likes the tier list and leaves positive comments. No, this time I'm going to listen. I think I've gotten too many negative comments about this to not take it as a valid critique. Let's put Miyabi up here more popularly played teams are not necessarily better than the 3.5s. However, Miyabi Sokaku Lycon is the single highest DPS team in the game by about 15%, 15 to 20%. It is the hardest team in the game to play, but it has such a huge payoff where you can chain freezes during stun to extend the duration of stun because enemies are frozen, to do 3 or 4 Miyabi enhanced basic attacks during stun. If you're not familiar, it's cool, it's real good. It's proven to be effective time and time again. It's an Astralist team, and it's literally the best team in the game. It's really not debatable. So yes, Miyabi is finally separate from anyone else. You can celebrate. Me, no. I'll be making a video when Miyabi is rerunning. So let's assess things. Are we comfortable with this? Should Grace be with Soldier 11? No. Should Corrin be with Soldier 11? Is Corrin with Soldier 11? This is GPA scale. GPA scale. I made the tier list in GPA scale. You want to make the argument for Jane in 3. You can make the argument for Jane in 3.0. There's just no Fizzweek content. It's still just a struggle bus. No, okay, it's not a struggle bus. I don't know. I just don't know if it's that good. We need to see. We just need to see. Place Bernice on the DPS tier list. We could. Here, this is Bernice. Bernice had her team stolen by Vivian. Bernice is now a little homeless. I don't know. I'll put her here. Maybe here. One or the other. The biggest benefit of Bernice is you can play her with Miyabi. Is being playable with Miyabi enough to push up a tier? You can also play her with Vivian. You can play her with Vivian, you can play her with Miyabi. I'm fine with this. Okay, now we're doing sports. Time for sports. Since we decided Ben is not a support, he is not the first agent placed on the tier list. You know who that leaves? I'm sorry, little one. Someone had to be first. I love A-Rank Ambi's design. I would actually pay money to replace S-Rank Ambi with A-Rank Ambi's outfit. But she just doesn't do anything. She stuns, but that isn't actually anything. It just isn't useful. I'm sorry, Ambi. Do we have too many tiers for supports? I wonder, do we have too many tiers? Do we need to simplify this? Bangboo tier list, thank you. I wonder. I guess we'll just start placing them. This is Kaleda. She's Ambi but fire and buffs chain attack damage. Kaleda has the best dodge counter of any stun agent, which is cool that she's a dodge tank. It's just not a real niche. In my opinion, it's not a real niche. It's not useful. You can play Kaleda with Evelyn. You can play Kaleda with Hugo. Should you? Not unless you don't have anything better. Something you might have better is Pulchra. It's time for some hot takes. Pulchra is an underrated agent. You just need M6. She is, I think, just much better than Ambi and Kaleda because she just gives a buff. She can stack Astral Voice. That's it. That's really all I have to say. She is just better than Kaleda and Ambi. She's literally just better than the other A-rank stun agents in a pretty significant way. We have too many tiers. I think Pulchra is 100% a full tier above Ambi and Kaleda. 100%. We get to talk about Seth. Seth is an anomaly-specific support. The downside about Seth is he only buffs one character in an anomaly team. How do you make an anomaly support that only buffs one character? How does this happen? This feels like a mistake. If Seth gave 100 AP to the entire team, I'd put him up. It's weird. It's just a little strange. It's just a little strange. Anomaly agents have not been their own DPSs for a while. You can say you could play the best one is Yanagi, and I'd agree with you. I do still think Pulchra and Seth are underrated agents. I will stand by this. They are not terrible. They are underrated agents. They have uses. They are underappreciated. I still can't place them that high on the tier list. Here's the question. Is Lucy a full tier better than Seth and Pulchra? So, Lucy buffs the entire team with her abilities. The problem with Lucy is she is a strictly worse Astra with a bunch of downsides. She's literally less than half of an Astra, which is the thing. Okay, the problem with Lucy is if you have enough characters, you don't play Lucy. She's been kicked out of a lot of teams. Lucy is debatably better than Caesar, but Caesar gives a shield. Lucy is debatably better than Caesar. We have to account for doing 3 teams and only 1 Astra. The problem is you still don't really play Lucy that often. You still kind of just don't play Lucy that often. It's not about not every team having Astra available. It's about how many other sports are available, and you just don't. Not every team specifically needs a support agent, especially as we continue to get teams that don't need them. Do I put Lucy? I don't want to underrate Lucy. I don't want to overrate her either. I don't want to underrate Lucy. I don't want to overrate her. Fuck you, I believe this. Fuck. I want to believe. I do want to believe Pulchra is better than is as good as Lucy. I do want to believe it. I want to believe it. We'll leave this as is for now. Yes, there's no Fizz content. That's correct. This is Rena. Rena is a shock anomaly buffer. Don't play Rena if your character does not do shock damage. We say it every time. It's the same note. Rena is a shock buffer, first and foremost. Rena buffs shock. That's it. That's all I have to say. Well, that's it. Don't worry. Rena buffs shock. This is Qingyi. Qingyi is an on-field DPS. Our DPSs don't want a second DPS in their team. So Qingyi isn't actually... She's really cool when you can kill the enemy in 1 stun, because you can use her to get to the stun quickly. That is Qingyi's thing. That's ultimately not actually that useful. Qingyi is fine here. I think Qingyi is genuinely fine here. I hope this isn't still a hot take. I hope this isn't still a hot take. If it's a hot take, write me a comment about it, and I'll try to read I read all the comments. Tell me why you think I'm underrating Qingyi. The Silver Wolf take. She is. She is. I was right. Say what you will. I was right. She is. You think she should be above Lucy? 1 tier up. This is where we start getting into the, like, these are the characters that usually are first picks in teams. Okay? Yeah, this is where we start talking about first pick characters. This is Von Lycon, the best standard banner agent. He did it. He beat the odds. He is the best 1.0 agent. Besides Nicole. He is the best 1.0 agent. This is Von Lycon. He's an ice buffer. He just got a new team with Hugo. He is still in the best team in the game with Miyabi. He's just great. He doesn't take field time. He applies buffs. He does some daze damage. Great. He's kind of just... Similarly, this is Sokaku. Sokaku as a support, you could argue 2.0. I say 3.0 because of how much anomaly Sokaku applies. Sokaku is the reason Miyabi Mono Ice works. Period. The team works and as good as it is because of Sokaku and how much anomaly she applies. She also just is a really strong ice buffer. People bitch and moan about Sokaku all the time. Shut up. You're wrong. Sokaku is great. She belongs here because of how good the team is. It's true. If you don't know how to gear Sokaku for these teams, I will tell you. It is 4-piece Freedom Blues, Anomaly Mastery, slot 6, Anomaly Proficiency, slot 4, 2-piece Energy Regen, slot 5, Attack Percent, Engine, the Game Ball, or Kaboom the Cannon. But the Game Ball is better. The Game Ball. No, not Bashful Demon. You need the Energy Regen. Bashful Demon is bad. The Badful Demon. Yes, you could also run Attack slot 4. There's the Game Ball. The Game Ball is the Battle Pass weapon. It gives you crit rate for playing against weakness. So if you use the Game Ball on Sokaku against Bringer, your Miyabi gets extra crit rate. If you use the Game Ball on Astra with Yishuan and play against the upcoming boss, your Yishuan gets 10 crit rate. Yes, it is permanent crit rate as long as you play against weakness. If you do not play against weakness, the Game Ball doesn't do anything. And the support needs to weakness match. So it's only really prevalent when supports attribute match the DPS and the DPS is playing against weakness. But yes, the Game Ball is actually a good engine. Literally has 1 team. It sure does. What about it? What's the problem? If 1 team is real good, I don't care. This is Trigger. What do I have to say about Trigger? She is proven best in slot with Ambi, period. How do I? Trigger has the best S rank engine of a support agent. So if you do not have Trigger's S rank engine, you can automatically discount her 1 tier. I really like Trigger. Okay. Let's talk about Trigger real quick. Okay, look. Trigger is a really good personality. Trigger is a character I'd be willing to stan. I would marry a Trigger. If you are just like Trigger, hit me up. She might be a little underpowered. Trigger might be a little underpowered. Trigger is very good with M1. Trigger does have very good mindscapes. I am not comfortable putting Trigger any higher on this tier list. But this is where Trigger is. This is the undefeated champion. This is the undefeated. Oh yeah, actually, going back to Trigger. You can play Trigger with, if you don't have Anbi, but you do have Trigger, you can play Trigger with Yanagi. It is worse than Astra, but you can do it. You can play Trigger with Haramasa. You can play Trigger with Ellen. You can play Trigger with Evelyn. You can play Trigger with Jian. There are places you can play Trigger. She is really splashable. She's just never a standout. I think Trigger just isn't really a standout agent. You can also play Trigger with Hugo, yes. Trigger has a lot of places she can go, which is why Trigger is this high at all. She is very splashable. And that is the biggest asset about Trigger, besides her rear end. Anyway, yeah, this is the undefeated champion. This is Lighter. Lighter is specifically a support for Fire and Ice teams. Specifically Fire and Ice attack agents, because of how restrictive his additional ability is. There are other teams you can play with him, like Lucy, Miyabi, but really he's a support for Fire and Ice attack agents. Lighter is most prevalent with Hugo and Evelyn. You can also play him with Soldier 11. You could also play him with Bernice, because Bernice is faction member. Lighter gives 75 damage bonus. His engine gives 30 crit rate. He also gives 15% res shred. He just has really high numbers. The numbers for Fire and Ice agents that Lighter gives are just really high. And 3-second stun duration. Numbers alone carry you really far in this game as a support. That's why Lighter is up here. He's also getting a new set in 2.0. The new set in 2.0 will also apply to Von Lycon, arguably Trigger, and essentially the entire stun roster. The note about Lighter is as good as the DPSs he supports. If you do not like playing Evelyn or Hugo, you should not pull Lighter. If you do not think Evelyn and Hugo are amazing and you don't want to spend pulls on them, you should not pull Lighter. I think Lighter is just numerically strong enough for me to put him up here. That's it. He's kind of just that good. But he is super restricted, so he's balanced. He's got downsides. Lighter is a very good agent. I like specific supports like this, as opposed to someone more splashable like Trigger. This is Astra Yao. This is the Astra Yao. We talked about this a couple times. Astra is not a bulletproof support. It's not that Astra has no weakness. The thing about Astra is she is numerically very strong. She gives a ton of attack, a ton of damage bonus, and a little bit of crit damage. She also allows your team to quick assist, which is actually really noticeable. When you don't have Astra in your teams, I find myself thinking, wait, where are my quick assists? What's happening? Where's Astra? What's going on? The downsides for Astra is she doesn't do any days. She doesn't really apply any anomaly. Her ultimate is really infrequent and chain attacks aren't actually fantastic. She doesn't regenerate energy like other supports, and she doesn't do any damage. She also doesn't really generate decibels either. Well, she just doesn't really generate decibels at all. Astra has a bunch of downsides. The numbers are just so high that it doesn't matter. As we continue to get more supports, I do feel like Astra will eventually start falling off. For now, we don't have enough. And the biggest restriction in team building is we only have one Astra, which is, I don't know. As we continue to, especially since we're coming up on 2.x, they'll give us a new support. And I do want people to be aware, yes, Astra has weaknesses. They can make better supports than Astra. Sorry, that's it. Astra, she's just really strong numbers-wise. I also want to talk about an underrated good thing about supports. Supports with bad W engines are actually kind of desirable. You can save a lot of pulls not pulling a W engine for a support if the W engine is a pretty marginal upgrade. It's much less pressure and it makes the support much more Player friendly? People complain that Elegant Vanity is bad. It's kind of a good thing that Elegant Vanity is bad. It's kind of is that a hot take? I think it's actually a benefit. Specifically for this one, I think it's really a benefit. This is Nicole. Nicole is free. Nicole is guaranteed. She's the mascot of the game. One of the mascots of the game. Nicole is a grouper, which isn't actually that useful anymore. Characters have much more generous AoEs. And she are moving away, seemingly starting to move away from it. Nicole is a really strong pairing with Astra because she gives different buffs. Nicole gives a buff called Death Shred. She gives 40% of this stat. She also gives 24 damage bonus from her engine and 25 ether damage bonus if there's another ether agent in the team. Coming up on 2.0, Nicole will not be able to support any agents. This is probably Nicole's last time at the top of the tier list. You can argue Nicole belongs in 3.0 with Trigger. Honestly, I just kind of want to give this to her. Honestly, I just want to give it to her. I think she deserves it. She's also an A rank, a good A rank, the best A rank. I didn't place her yet because I wanted to talk about her specifically. This is Caesar King. Caesar gives a shield. Caesar does daze. That's what Caesar does. She gives a buff as well. She gives a strong buff. Her buff is very good. But specifically, Caesar is meant to be a benefit to you when you're able to capitalize on her daze. The problem is enemies have not been Fizz weak. Caesar's daze is unfortunately useless right now. So Caesar herself is not reaching her full support potential. Because of the shield being very comfortable, I think I'm still willing to say 3.0. But Caesar, if you look at the buffs themselves and the fact that Caesar only buffs one agent while they are on field, and she does not have an ultimate attack, she is a 2.0 agent. But the shield is very comfortable, and people really like the shield. I really like the shield. It is much more difficult to die with Caesar than it is without Caesar. So if we look at Caesar just on her support capability and how she's being used right now, she is a 2.0 agent on the list. If we give her some brownie points for the shield, we can call her a 3.0 agent. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I think Caesar is actually going to be quite good with Yishuan. But when you do not have Jufufu, at least. I'm going to give a hot... we're going to be a hot take. We're going to say 2.0. We're going to be spicy. I don't think she's necessarily better than Lucy. We're going to be real spicy. Real spicy. So yes, those are the DPS and support agents. It is time for the real tier list. The real tier list you've all been waiting for. Brand new, first time. This is the Bangboo tier list. So, starting out with Bangboos. Most of them are garbage. So we're gonna strt by separating the trash. Bear with me. There we go. Now we're looking at Bangboos. Generally, most Bangboos apply anomaly. Some have active skills that are beneficial. Some have active skills that don't do anything. Honorable mention, Avakabu is a healer Bangboo. You can use him to cheese tower. Mawkus is a personal damage Bangboo for the Sons of Kallion faction. He is an active skill focused Bangboo, which is a good thing. He also doesn't actually do enough days to be noticeable or enough damage. This is Overtime Boo. He's new. He gives days. He's cool. He just does a ton of days. And by a ton, I mean barely any, but some. This is Penguin Boo. Penguin Boo has power crept Shark Boo. Let's fucking go. Reverse power creep. The A rank Bangboo is better. Why? Penguin Boo has more consistent ice anomaly than Shark Boo. That is the entire reason Penguin Boo is used instead of Shark Boo. He also doesn't shatter. Yep, that's exactly correct. This is Resno Boo. He groups enemies. He's almost useful. Who are we kidding? This guy got power crept. Put him down here. Maybe a Sokaku like it's Penguin Boo. That's why Penguin Boo is on the list. This is Agent Gulliver. He's an electric anomaly, active ability focused Bangboo. He is best in Yanagi Miyabi teams. He's also generally usable in Yanagi teams. Possibly more preferably if you're playing Yanagi Vivian, you get to use Robin. This is Robin. Believe it or not, I am gonna crown Robin with a title. Robin is the best Bangboo in the game. Ah, yeah. Yeah, Robin is effectively the best Bangboo in the game. He's the most useful Bangboo. When you play Hugo, Robin does extra days. When you play Vivian, Robin applies Ether Anomaly. He applies more Ether Anomaly, or more Anomaly, than any other Bangboo. That is why Robin is the best Bangboo in the game. He is useful for both of the Mockingbird agents, and he's useful in different ways. If you don't know why a Bangboo doing days matters, days is threshold based. If a Bangboo can help you reach a threshold you can't normally hit, then it's useful. That is also the sole reason Rocket Boo is useful. Rocket Boo is a Bangboo that helps you hit days thresholds for teams that can't use Robin. Overtime Boo should be very similar to Rocket Boo. The advantage to Rocket Boo is he applies Fire Anomaly. If you don't know, you get decibels whenever Anomaly is applied, so the timing of your Anomaly in, let's say, an Evelyn team can actually end up mattering, which makes Rocket Boo quite cool. So Rocket Boo is either going to be a 3.0 or a 2.0 Bangboo here. I think let's say a 2.0 Bangboo. This is Plug Boo. He's like worse Agent Gulliver. He belongs down here. This is Lucky Boo. He's like here. He applies a good amount of Fizz Anomaly, but it's Fizz Anomaly. Robin does not work at all outside of Vivian or Hugo teams. This is Night Boo. Night Boo is like Snap. So I guess we'll talk about both of these Bangboo at the same time. Snap and Night Boo do 0 damage. Because they do 0 damage, they apply 0 Anomaly. Because they do 0 damage, they apply 0 days. When days and Anomaly thresholds don't matter, you can put Snap here. When they do matter, Snap is a detriment because you aren't hitting the thresholds that you need to hit when you need to hit them. Which is why a lot of people have started calling Snap a scam. I do not think Snap is a scam, but it is funny to call him one. It is very funny. And it is true. Bangboo not applying any Anomaly and not doing any days can get in the way. It can be a disadvantage. I think Snap's still fine. I actually still think Snap is fine. Mild take. This is Night Boo. Night Boo is like Snap, but you need to pick up the buff, so he's kind of just bad. We'll go with 1.0. We'll be the top of 1.0. Night Boo is a limited time Bangboo. You can't get him anymore. So that's the Bangboo tier list. First time Bangboo tier list. Let me know what your thoughts about Bangboo. Will it be a regular thing? I have no idea, but that's the Bangboo tier list.